Hello, it's me here once again, and I'm here to do a video on the ranking of the Uriah Heep albums during the David Byron era. Since I come to an end with High and Mighty, figured Byron's out of the band, so I figured, you know what, let's rank the albums from his era in this video. And who knows, maybe by the time I finish the discography, I might actually do all the albums ranked in how I would rank them. And yeah, but before we get into this video and talk about the albums, be sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, hit the little bell down below so you don't miss anything. And hey, if you know fans that love Uriah Heep or like talking music, just share this video with them. I like talking music with people, and I like doing these videos for you guys. Well, anyway, let's get into it. Let's start number 9. And to anyone who's watched my videos probably knows what number 9 is. For me, it's Wonderworld. I wouldn't say it's a terrible album. It does have its moments. But out of the David Byron era, I think it is the weakest album they did. Which is kind of sad because it is Gary Thane's last album. And as much as I wanted to like this album, as I go back through Uriah Heep's albums, this is actually one I very rarely go back and listen to at all. For me, the best song off the album was The Easy Road, and the rest of the album just felt kind of flat, like it just, eh. But anyway, now on to album number 8. Now, album number 8 is High and Mighty. The last album I reviewed, it's just an album I feel like production hindered it a little bit. Song quality. And I know, like, I didn't get into this in the last video. I thought I'd save it for this one. To people who said around the end of the Lawton era, they should have went and raided the vault of Uriah Heep's stuff they haven't released yet and tried to make some of that work. I think High and Mighty is the perfect example of Uriah Heep probably pulling stuff from the vault and trying to make it work. Now, one song did, or some songs did. I think Midnight did. I really, really think Confessions did. And the song Weep in Silence, which is an absolutely fantastic song. I think it's just a shame that it wasn't able to push it out of number 8 on my list. Now on to number 7. Here we are. We're at the album Return to Fantasy. And it's kind of funny that these 3 albums all kind of get lumped in together. And I think Return to Fantasy is more on this. I do go back and I do listen to it. But I always felt like that album, like I said in my previous video, was always misnamed. It should have never been called Return to Fantasy because it wasn't really a return to the roots of Uriah Heep. It was more mislabeling and really pissing fans off. But I think it is a solid album. Like, all these albums I think are solid, at least an average 2.5 or better. I just feel like on the scale, I don't go back and listen to probably Return to Fantasy as much as other Uriah Heep stuff. But not to say there isn't good stuff off it. There really is good stuff off Return to Fantasy. I really like Shady Lady. I thought that was good. Beautiful Dream was good. Prima Donna, to me, was good, even though some call it filler. And Why Did You Go is actually pretty good as well. Return to Fantasy is what it is. But to me, it's number 7 on my list. On to album number 6. Very Heavy, Very Humble. Their first record they did. Just a great record to start off. You have great songs on there like Gypsy. You could tell the start was there. The foundation was being laid. It was maybe more of a Spice album than Uriah Heep album. And you can tell that they were kind of doing a little bit of everything on the album. But still, to me, it was a very good Uriah Heep album. Gypsy was great on it. Really love the song Come Away Melinda was good. I'll Keep On Trying was fantastic, and Wake Up, Set Your Sights as well, really good. It was just a really good album. It was solid, and it really worked well. But compared to the other 3, I think it's light years ahead. But, yeah, that's just my thoughts. On to album number 5 on my list, and we're at The Magician's Birthday. Now, if you look at all of the great Uriah Heep records, I kind of feel Magician's Birthday out of the, I want to call it 5-star albums that Uriah Heep kind of had there. is that it might be the weakest out of the 5 stars. Now, that's not saying any slight to Magician's Birthday. It's still a fantastic 5-star record. But it really, when you listen to it, there are parts I go back and really, really listen to it. I believe Blind Eye is one. The Magician's Birthday, hands down, I go back, listen to. Sunrise, great opener. There's great stuff on it. I just feel the other albums I go back, just listen to a little more. Now, this and the number 4 album I'm about to talk about was really hard. I had a really hard time with this and really going through this list. But on to album number 4, Salisbury. Now, the only thing that I think I can say why I'd rank Salisbury ahead of Magician's Birthday is because of one reason. I could go back, I can listen to it, and I always keep going back to Salisbury, maybe just a tad bit more than Magician's Birthday. And I think it was probably one of Uriah Heep's more, I dare say, proggier albums that had that really soft prog element. But it also had Uriah Heep with an orchestra, and I think bands with orchestras that do it very well, for example, Uriah Heep did it very well, Pink Floyd did it very well, and other bands have. And Salisbury, the song, has a lot of songs I really like. Birds of Prey is on there. I love that song. Let's just go back, listen, see what else I have on there. Lady in Black is on there. I love that song. A Time to Live, another great song. Uriah Heep had some absolutely fantastic songs on that album, and maybe more so for me, one of my more favorite Uriah Heep albums. Now on to album number 3 off my list is Sweet Freedom. Released in 73, the great year. I think it's probably one of Uriah Heep's greatest records they ever did. I think probably one of their best, most commercial albums they ever did. That worked well and actually got the response they kind of wanted. I always felt after Sweet Freedom, everything kind of went downhill for them. Not overnight or anything, but it was kind of gradual. Sweet Freedom is a great record. Stealing's one of my favorite songs of all time. The title track, Sweet Freedom, is very good. Just some great stuff. What else? One Day I really liked. Pilgrim I enjoyed. It was the epic of the album. Sweet Freedom is just a great record to go back, listen to, and just enjoy as a Heat fan for me. So that's why I put it at number 3. Number 2 for me is Demons and Wizards. It is one of the most easiest listening Uriah Heep albums you will ever listen to, where you can sit down, listen to it. It's been half an hour to 40 minutes, and you can't even tell it's been that long. It's just superb. The songs off the album, The Wizard, Traveler in Time, Poet's Justice, Easy Living, Circle of Hands, Rainbow Demon, All My Life. Just great stuff all together, and just Paradise the Spell. It was one of the perfect Uriah Heep albums at the perfect time, and was one of my all-time favorite albums to listen to. But we go on to number 1, and for some, this is no surprise. For some it might be, but for Uriah Heep fans that love this album, Look at Yourself, to me, is the greatest album Uriah Heep ever issued, or greatest album they ever did. Period. I can't stress it enough how much I love this album. This album is so hard, so proggy, so organ-driven. This is, without a doubt, the essence of Uriah Heep, is Look at Yourself. And everything on this album was superb from start to finish, from the title track, Look at Yourself, all the way on down. Let's just go through it. Look at Yourself. I Want to Be Free is a fantastic, heavily underrated Uriah Heep song. July Morning, Do I Dare Say More? Tear in My Eyes, Shadow of Grief, fantastic. Maybe another one of their most criminally underrated, and to me one of David Byron's best soul work, is on what should be done. And even Love Machine, fantastic. Uriah Heep was on. They were working well together. And this was the start. You could say Salisbury was kind of the start. This was the album that said Uriah Heep is here. And we're not going anywhere. But anyway, that's my list, my ranking. If you have your ranking, be sure to put it down below or even do a response video to it if you like. But anyway, that's my rankings. Once again, be sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, hit the bell. This is me here once again.